Good to see you. Yeah, there's a lot that. Oh, right here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
JJ, how has Jaden Davis looked?
Really good, really good. The thing I'm most impressed with him, though, is just the way he carries himself. Just being around the guys and being a newcomer, he really just doesn't say much, but he puts his head down and he works. And he's always asking questions. He's always trying to grow, always trying to learn. And that's the thing I respect the most. Obviously, he can throw the football very well, but seeing his character and seeing his intangibles makes me really excited.
JJ, what stands out about a Nick Saban coach defense?
Extremely well coached. You know, he's been coaching that system for a long time, and you could tell that it's dialed to a T. You know, polished out all the imperfections of it on a week-to-week basis, and always, you know, adapting and overcoming the mistakes they made from the previous weeks. And just having the talent and, you know, the athleticism to go along with that makes them a very dangerous defense.
JJ, in a game like this, what's the balance between kind of you're going up against a really good secondary? You know, maybe it varies from some of the teams you see earlier in the season. So what's the balance between kind of keeping things, you know, in check or just kind of letting loose?
You know, it's going to be one of those games where we're going to have to feel it out, you know, the entire game. It's going to be like a boxing match. They're going to come out hard, we're going to come out hard, and then we're going to figure things out as we go. But it's going to have to be a balance where running the football and passing the football, because it's tremendous defense and, you know, just one of the top teams overall in the country. So just being able to feel them out and adapting is going to be crucial. Good seeing you.
What has been an improvement for you this season? Like if the pocket's not perfect and it's being pushed back or there's disruption there, how are you able to operate when the pocket's not perfect?
I felt like just being able to move around in the pocket and keep my eyes downfield is a big jump from last year, and being able to correspond the scrambling rules with the routes at the play at hand, and just being able to know where everyone's at, and knowing if it's cover two, then I got a backside post that free safety might not think is there because they're looking at the over route, and little stuff like that where it's just like, you know, making sure that when the opportunities are at hand to scramble, I'm perfect on all ends, and especially with the little details of making sure we could hurt them in a moment like that.
JJ, where did meditation routine start at, and who did you get that from?
It was actually self-taught. I started in my senior year of high school. I was going through a depression, and just doing everything I can to, you know, get better. That's kind of like my motto for my entire life, and that was one of the things where I just went straight to Google and started searching, you know, practices to do to help improve your mental health, and meditation was one that popped up tremendously, and I just started, you know, putting it into practice and feeling the benefits, and things started to get dramatically better, and I just never stopped since.
JJ, you ended your press conference in the Fiesta Bowl saying, "We'll be back. You are back." How did you manifest that and make your way back to a college football playoff game?
After those words left my mouth, it was doing everything I can to make sure that that was going to happen. You know, visualizing it on a day-to-day basis, putting in the work behind it, because, you know, you can't just dream about it and not do anything about it, because those dreams will be left on the pillow. And just being able to, you know, rally the teammates, rally the coaches, just everything that happened this past year is all manifested it, not just those words that I said. And, you know, it's been a tremendous journey, and I'm extremely blessed to be on it.
When they pulled Alabama for the 4 instead of FSU, we saw the reaction on TV.
Yeah.
What's it been since then, seeing tape? And obviously a Nick Saban team in the playoff isn't a joke.
Yeah, no, not a joke at all. And, you know, they've been here before, and they've been successful here before. So, you know, when that came out, like, all of us were just shocked that the committee kept Florida State out. But you can understand where they were coming from, and especially with the way that Alabama was playing towards the end of the year and beating Georgia and just the team they are itself, it it makes sense. And obviously watching film, you see it, why they're in the playoff. They're a tremendous team. Everything about them from offense, defense, special teams, they're clicking on all cylinders at this time of the year. So it's going to be a great matchup for us and a great challenge.
JJ, most of the talk's been about Alabama. Do you guys kind of feel like all the talk, they're the top ranked, and you guys are being looked at as number 4 instead of number 1?
What? I really haven't heard any of the talk just because I stay off social media, I stay off, YouTube, all the stuff where anything could influence my mindset and how I attack on a day-to-day basis. But, I love it. Let them keep talking them up, talking us down. Like, at the end of the day, it's all out of our control. It's out of Alabama's control, and we're just going to go out there and play 60 minutes and, see what happens.
JJ, whenever you take a chance to sit down and think about your future after this game or the next game, whatever, how important will it be to you in terms of, I guess, the factor of taking into consideration what Jim does? Is that, like, how close are you tied to him in terms of what your future might be, do you think?
That's a great question. I feel like just everything that's going on right now, that's something that I'll definitely ponder on after the season. But as of right now, I'm just really focused on locking in for this next meeting that we got after this and making sure we have a great practice today.
JJ, Michigan has such a great alumni that have gone on to play at the highest level. Obviously, quarterback and Tom Brady that played at Michigan.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you had any relationship with him or if he reached out to give you some advice or some wisdom throughout the years.
Yeah, Tom, we actually developed a little bit of relationship this past year and just being able to communicate via DM and then via text eventually. And just he's always, gave me great detailed answers every time I've asked him a question. And, just a great guy and great human being. And it's been great because his, wisdom is going to be with me for the rest of my life. And it's affected me tremendously this year alone. And, he's hasn't hit me up yet because I'm usually the one to always, bug him, and he knows it's coming. So I'll definitely hit him up sometime this week.
Do you know if he's coming to the game?
I do not know, but I don't assume so, no.
JJ, with everything that's kind of gone on this season, with Coach Harbaugh and everything, how have you guys been able to block out that noise and just kind of focus on the field?
It's been something that has been ingrained in us since the off season. I mean, even since I got here, just always focusing on the task at hand, staying in the present moment, because that's the only thing that's going to affect any kind of outcome of any kind of game. And just being able to, lock in to the details and making sure that, all the outside noise is just outside noise and keeping it as that. And, I think we've done a tremendous job of it, but we got to continue to do that and not, smell the roses, pun intended, and just focus on the task at hand.
How has your relationship with Roman developed over the year? Phil Wilson. How have you guys developed over the year? Considering this might be your last ride, how much would a win mean to both of you?
The relationship has always been great. He's, island boy, and I just feel like I meshed well with just his personality, and, it's been great this past year, just, building that relationship off the field, and we've hung out a lot more. And it would mean the world, just to not only myself and him, but to our entire team and the entire state of Michigan and all the, fans that have been cheering us on this entire year. So it's one of those games where we're going to leave it all out there and give it everything we got.
JJ, I know you're playing the Alabama defense, but Jalen Milroe's rise from being starter to being benched to coming back and leading Alabama to the Rose Bowl. Do you have any relationship with him, or is there anything you've admired from afar about his game, his story?
I don't have a relationship with him, but I wish I did. Just like you said, his story just this past year alone has been, a Cinderella story. And just everything about his game I really admire. Just his athleticism, his arm power, his, shiftiness, his finesse, his ability to understand the defense and, react on the fly. Just everything about him makes him, a top day one, day two guy, and I just, can't wait to see him against our defense and, on the field. But yeah, there's so many things I admire about him, and I think he's a phenomenal quarterback.
Your defense has talked a lot this year about their 4 pillars. Is there any 4 pillars or any of them in the Michigan offense?
Yes, sir. Our 4 pillars are play with maximum effort, precise execution, assert our dominance, and protecting the football. I feel like if we attack those 4 things, there's not a game that we we'll lose, and that's something that we reiterate on a day-to-day basis. And Coach Moore and Coach Harbaugh and Coach Campbell and Coach Bellamy and Coach Hart, Coach Newsome, all the offensive coaches just make sure we're dialed in on that, and that's always on the forefront of our mind.
JJ, given Coach Harbaugh's history playing the position, are there any small nuances or specific intricacies that he relates to you guys that you haven't really heard anywhere else and that has really grown in you?
For sure, yeah. We have this thing that he actually just mentioned it this past week. We call him Freddie Soft, where it's the guy that sits on your shoulder that says, like, oh, your legs are too sore, you can't go out there to practice. And he always just brings that up. But it'll be, for instance, like when I was going through a little injury this year, he would just kind of outdo me with the injuries that he's played through, and just being able to have a guy that's actually went through it and been through the same pain, and you see him on a day-to-day basis, it never affects him. And back then it never affected him. It just inspires you to push through that pain, keep pushing through all the little ticky-tack injuries, and going out there and playing for the team ultimately.
Is there a difference between Harbaugh and who some may perceive him to be, you think?
100%. I feel like, I just feel like the world doesn't see Coach Harbaugh the way us players do, just because, he really is like a father figure to all of us, and he'd do anything for each and every one of us, and that's it. It's one of the special people on this world that really don't care about what anyone thinks and what anyone says about him. And just being able to go through everything that he's been through and get all the hate and just, pretty disgusting, just, attention towards him. It really stinks, but he doesn't care about it, so we don't care about it at the end of the day. And just being able to have that as our leader, it's been amazing. 100%. I'd say 110% actually. Yeah.
How much did that last month help with you and the guys up front?
Tremendously. Yeah. Drake was going through a little something. Keegs was going through a little something. I mean, everybody was kind of going through a little something. So being able to get that time to just rest and let our bodies, take its natural course, it's been tremendous. Needed for this game too.
How's the preparation for this CFP semifinal maybe been different from the last two? What have you guys learned from those trips?
I felt like the last 2 years, I mentioned this previously, it was paralysis by overanalysis. We were just kind of going over things a little bit too much and then second guessing ourselves and, taking things out that, our defense or our scout team have seen a million times and it didn't work a million times. So we're like, oh, I don't know. And just being able to not go at it on a day-to-day basis with full pads every single day like we have kind of in the past. And it's been tremendous for our bodies, tremendous for our minds, and we'll see if it pays off this Monday.
JJ, when you started studying Alabama's defense ahead of this game, were there any similarities from when you prepared 2 years ago for Georgia's defense? Was there any carryover there?
Yeah, similar, very similar. Just, athletic freaks all over the board, very well coached, adapting well to in-game scenarios and in-game situations. And, just a lot of, draft picks on the other side of the ball that are going to make their plays. They're going to be in the right spot at the right time, and it's just going to come down to game inches and a game of, details that are going to ultimately, decide the game.
Do you remember what was going through your mind when you were thrown out there in the second half of that game in 21?
Say that again?
Do you remember what was going through your mind when you were thrown out there in the second half of that game in 21?
Yeah, just focusing on the play at hand. Yeah, because as a freshman, your mind's spinning with just this thick of a playbook that you got to memorize and execute. And that was really it. Obviously, once the play starts, you're like, wow, these guys are really fast, really big, and they hit really hard. But just keeping things simple, just focusing on the play at hand.
From an offensive standpoint, why is this offense better equipped to handle an SEC defense than say it was 2 years ago?
I would say just the maturity of everyone, from Coach Moore to Coach Campbell down. I feel like just the experience of being in these games has helped tremendously, and just being able to adapt all year, whether we were playing Penn State and we had to run the ball, and that was the attack strategy. And then Ohio State, where we had a different attack strategy, and adapting throughout the games. I feel like that's been a tremendous tool that we've developed over the years, and it's going to pay out huge this game.
A lot of talk
5-minute warning.
balance
Michigan's
before
time
this
will end
season.
in 5
Yeah.
minutes.
How do you feel how this offense has become more balanced, I guess, over the course of the year?
I would say, the term balance, everyone thinks like 50-50, run the ball, pass the ball every single game. I feel like balance for us is, okay, we are really good at running the ball, we're really good at passing the ball. What do we need to do to win? And, we're going to do that. And obviously, you'd like it to be 50-50 every single game, but it really doesn't turn out that way most of the time. So, yeah, I just feel like, we'll adapt and be as balanced as we can.
JJ, there's a narrative, rather it be true or false, I'll let you answer, that Michigan's offense kind of conservative, that you can do more than they ask of you physically. Do you agree with that, or is that a mischaracterization?
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm always going to do what is asked of me and not question anybody, not complain, because at the end of the day, if we're winning football games, that's all that matters, and that's all I care about.
You think you could play in the NFL right now?
It's a great question. Yes, I do, but I feel like there's so much more I could grow, so much more I could develop, just so many more things that, could prepare me to play better in the NFL, but I feel like I played in the NFL right now, yeah.
Do you think you could come back for your senior season if, say, Coach Moore is the head coach for the entire season and Coach Harbaugh goes?
Obviously 2 fantastic head coaches that I would love to play for the rest of my life, but at the end of the day, I'm excited to play for them on Monday, and that's all I really care about.
Yeah, speaking of that, what's the biggest difference you notice on the sidelines in the games where it's Jim versus the games where Sharon is the head coach?
I feel like the biggest difference that I see is just Coach Moore not as I don't want to say stressed out, but there's so much on his plate, and I feel like he's a lot more relaxed and a lot more calm and just more of himself when he's not having to call plays, coach the offensive line, call the timeouts, accept or decline the penalties and stuff like that. So when Coach Harbaugh's there, he's kind of like the glue that puts everything together, and it's been tremendous to have him back.
For many years with Michigan, it was couldn't beat Ohio State. Now it's third trip to the CFP. You've lost the first 2. You feel like the same pressure is there to kind of get past this narrative?
There's going to be pressure regardless of what the narrative is. So I feel like, we expected that and we predicted that. So it's therefore manageable. And, we just focus on what we're doing on a day-to-day basis and, only focus on that play at hand that we're preparing for.
JJ, weighing the pros and cons of returning to Michigan for another year and the NFL draft, have you looked at other guys, whether it's Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, Bo Nix, who step around for another season, or vice versa?
No, to be honest with you, I really haven't thought about it at all. And when, the season's over, that's when I'll start weighing out the pros and cons and all that. But all I can focus on is Monday.
JJ, coming up on a full season with A.J. Barner now, what is your relationship with him like, and how does he compare to Colston Loveland, and assess maybe what their impacts will be in the game?
They bounce off each other really well. And just being able to see AJ come in as, a captain from IU and always having that work ethic, always having that grit to him. And he really him, Max Bredesen, Colston, obviously the offensive line, they make the offense go. And just being able to see his development in the pass game over this year and being able to, feel different zones and win versus man coverage. He's been a tremendous addition to our team and just a great human being overall. One of my best friends on the team, and just can't wait to see what he does this game and, the next games for his career.
All right, that will conclude the Michigan media availability. Alabama will be here in about.
Thank you, guys. Have a great rest of your day.